AITAH for telling my daughter she can't see the only papa she's ever known ever again. Advice needed. Sir, I 29F have a 9F daughter. And here recently me and my mom 59F have decided to not allow my daughter around her 64M, papa, again. Backstory: my dad passed away when I was a teenager while my parents were never together growing up, divorced when I was 1. My mom had boyfriends here and there. But sophomore year I wanna say she met, let's call him R. That's all he ever was to me. I have always been on the plus side and he didn't like that very much. Where we lived had a spare bedroom in the kitchen and he turned it into a pantry, put the fridge and all pantry items inside and put a lock on the door. And was only ever allowed to eat what was prepared for dinner. If I didn't like what he prepared, I basically starved. My mother knew and didn't like it, but he wouldn't take the lock off. My mom worked until 10 p.m. so she was not there from I was home from school until bedtime. There are so many other stories of how I was mistreated by this man. Going through my room when I was at school. Going through the trash cans to see what I was, sneaking in, treating me like a maid. List goes on and on. I eventually couldn't take it anymore and moved in with friends. Last few months of senior year after graduation I bounced around between friends' places and met my BD. I got pregnant and was not able to take care of her alone as my BD wanted nothing to do with me or my daughter. So my mom and R was raising her. Since this being the only papa she ever known. He was great with her and I known he loves her very much. I eventually got my shit together though. And got a good job, car, own apartment and got my daughter moved in with me and been taking care of her since then. She was about 3 then. So 6 years she's been with me. Sorry so much yapping for backstory lol. Since that time with my daughter coming with me was just my mom and R and drove them to fight, live in separate rooms and him eventually moving out, meeting someone else and move in with her and just got married recently. He came to most birthday parties and would drop off presents for Christmas. But, for the most part he was not around or in her life in recent years. But just Monday he called out the blue as it's summer vacation and him and his new wife just moved to a new apartment with a 2nd bedroom, just for her, my daughter, and has a pool. Got my daughter very excited to go over there and see. I was hesitant as he did not want me to know where he lives considering our past. But my daughter was very excited and happy to go see where her papa was living now, and her room they set up for her, and go swimming. He said he would pick her up and bring her back later before it started raining. And she left with him with just slipping on her flip-flops and out the door she went. It ended up raining and she called me and said she has to stay the night. She took the phone to her room. This is where she starts telling me and my mom she isn't allowed on the furniture. There is no bed to sleep on, just a cot. And only thing she has had to eat was an apple butter sandwich for dinner. She's hungry and wants to come home and if we could come get her. We all know how children over-exaggerate things, but still if my baby wants to come home and isn't comfortable sleeping there I will come get her. This is where shit hit the fan. He said no, he will not tell us where he lives, neither me or my mom. That he is entitled to his privacy. That he will take her home in the morning, as the streets are wet, it's late, was only 6 p.m, and doesn't want to get back out. My mom started threatening to call the police as we are entitled to know where she is at all times. Demanding the apartment's name, building hash and apt hash. We know his vehicle so I tell him IDC which building hash or apt hash, just tell me the apartment's name, and I will be there to retrieve my daughter. Y'all can meet us at the office, don't have to drive nowhere. And you can't force her to sleep there on that cot bullshit if she don't want to. The wife yells the street address and that she, my daughter, will be outside waiting for us to pick her up. This is where I got really angry as they were fine letting my 9-year-old wait outside in the rain alone. Fast forward a few days, they have ordered a whole bedroom set. With a bed, dresser, drawers, mirror, TV, whole 9 yards, and want her to come back over to see it. Both me and my mom agree that we don't really want her to go back over there as he is blood relation to her and don't like the way he was not caring for my daughter's feelings, just bis hatred for me and my mom. So AITAH or WIBTAH if I cut off ties with him and my daughter. She says she loves him and will be sad if she never sees him again, but she understands.